welcome to the month of Dismember on Let's Talk Spoop. I am your host, Don, and as per usual on Let's Talk Spoop, we're going to talk about a spoopy horror film. This spoopy film is the Nutcracker Massacre, which I watched on my absolute favorite streaming network, Tubi. Nutcracker Massacre, which I watched on Tubi. As per usual, on Let's Talk Spoop, we break things down into 6 separate categories. Those 6 separate categories are story, acting, music, atmosphere, look, and finally, creep. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into Nutcracker Massacre on Tubi. So, it opens up kind of abruptly with a delivery guy showing up at a house decorated for Christmas, which tells you, hey, this is a Christmas movie. He goes around the back to drop off a package, and he decides to be a little bit of a creeper and look in the windows whilst he is doing so. And then while he's looking through the windows, he sees this giant nutcracker, like 6 foot tall nutcracker. And it is a creepy looking nutcracker. And he's like, oh shit. So he backs up and he's going to leave. And the nutcracker comes outside and he's like, oh, cool costume, dude. I just dropped off your package. And then the nutcracker murders him by shoving an icicle through his throat. And that's the opening. So then we transition to 2 days earlier, where we get our main character, a blonde girl named Clara, who is writing a book. A smutty book. And then she hangs with her friends while they're transitioning through the credits. We find out that her boyfriend cheated on her, and so she decides to visit her aunt for Christmas without telling her aunt about the breakup. She's on her way to her aunt's. She stops at this little knick-knack store and buys a nutcracker from a seemingly nice guy with a very thick accent. And so we get our classic cheater wants to get back together with his gorgeous girlfriend who is a successful author side story. And then we get an introduction to the family. Then we see the giant nutcracker from the opening. It's just kind of standing there next to the Christmas tree. Clara calls it creepy, but apparently her aunt got it for Clara's parents for their first Christmas, and then after that we find out that Clara's parents died and that she was raised by her aunt. Foreshadowing? Plot twist. The nice guy with the thick accent sold her the wrong object. He sold her a sugar plum fairy instead. And then this sugar plum fairy magically interacts with the giant nutcracker, and then the giant nutcracker starts killing people. Also, Clara's cousin is a bitch. So, surprisingly, this movie has a plot. So I enjoyed that. That was kind of cool. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 for story. Acting. It's a B movie with B movie actors. So a 2.5 for acting. Music. It's got creepy Christmas music, which is actually really good. They just like took classic Christmas songs and just kind of added a little bit of a creepy hint to it. So music, 3 out of 5. Atmosphere. The sound quality in this movie is really wishy-washy. Some of it's really is like normal. Other times you can not really understand what they're saying. Other times you can hear literally everything. Like there's a part where the cousin's boyfriend takes his shirt off and you can hear the rustle of his shirt really loudly. So that kind of makes it hard to get into. So 2.5 out of 5 for atmosphere. Look. The nutcracker's face. Oh my god. So I think it'll show it here in a second while I'm talking, so hopefully you'll get to see it. But the nutcracker, when it's killing people, its face gets all like evilly distended, I guess, and it looks ridiculous and funny. And on top of that, they don't really show much of the murder. It's mostly just like, oh, we stabbed him in the throat, and then like you get a little bit of that, and there's no blood and gore or anything like that. Which I may have been spoiled because of Terrifier 2's like over the top gore. But yeah, not very gory. So as far as look is concerned, it's a 2.5. There's the face. 2.5 out of 5 for look. And finally, creep. There's a couple of jumps that got me, but this movie's not really creepy. So a 2 out of 5 for creep, which gives us a grand total of 2.6 out of 5 skulls for the Nutcracker Massacre on Tubi. Movies like this are the reason I started doing this. This is like a movie that you have never heard of. It came out this year. This movie you've never heard of, that you're just cruising through Tubi and you want to watch something new and you don't know if it's any good or it's going to be worth your time. This is one of those movies that is a B horror film. It's not going to have anybody you've ever heard in it, and you're going to enjoy watching it if you like horror films. I would recommend this movie by far. So that is Nutcracker Massacre on Tubi. Okay, thanks, bye. Real quick, I forgot to mention this on the Nutcracker Massacre video that I did. So this is my recording studio. That's not nice. I forgot to mention on the Nutcracker Massacre video that I did that there was an absolutely fantastic murder in that movie where the Nutcracker chokes a man, lifts him off the ground, and then takes a Nutcracker and puts his balls inside of it and cracks his nuts. It was hilarious. Yeah,